In addition to tragedies and satyr plays, the Greeks developed a comedy festival called the Lenaea about 50 years after the first city Dionysia. Every year, five comic dramatists participated in the Lenaea, and each of them wrote one play. The Lenaea was also a celebration in honor of Dionysus. Of the plays that were written during that time, only 11 Greek comedies survived, and they are all written by Aristophanes. This was considered old comedy, comedy that was written prior to 404 BC. And old comedy dealt with current issues regarding politics, war and peace, and sometimes subjects, practices, and people that the playwright simply did not like. What drives the plot of Greek comedy is something called a happy idea. The happy idea is kind of a far fetched, almost implausible premise, and the plot is based on that. In the structure of performance of a Greek comedy, you have at the beginning a prologue which introduces the happy idea. After that, you have a parados, which is the entrance of the chorus. The Greek comic chorus is very different from the Greek tragic chorus. First of all, it's larger. 24 members of the Greek comic chorus, not all men, and there was no focus on making the members of the chorus look alike. As a matter of fact, they looked very different. Some of them were human, some of them were animals, plants, rocks, clouds, whatever the story needed was represented in the characters in the chorus. The attire for the characters or the members of the Greek comic chorus was intended to be funny, humorous. Most of them ran around in garments that were very tight, flesh colored. The men wore something called chitons, which were short tunics that came just below their waist. And the tunic, the chiton, was fitted with a large phallus. You have to remember that one of the major elements of Greek comedy was sex. And because this was a celebration of Dionysus, the god of fertility, the phallus also represented that as well. All of this, the happy idea, as I said, getting back to the structure of old comedy and performance, the prologue introduces the happy idea. After the happy idea, you get a parados, which is the entrance of that amazing group of chorus performers. After the parados, you have a section called a parabasis, where the members of the chorus actually speak directly to the audience, singling some of them out, making jokes about them. After the parabasis, we have a series of episodes that see the happy idea put into practice. And finally, we have the komos, which is the exit of the chorus as they go out to celebrate, to party, and to have a great time. Aristophanes' most popular play is called Lysistrata. The happy idea of Lysistrata is that the women of the town are holding a sex boycott to keep their husbands, their men, home from war. They decide to deny them sex. The doors to the bedroom are locked if you go away to war. That is the happy idea of Lysistrata. Um, Eventually, the popularity of old comedy started to change. After 404 BC, something called New Comedy was written. and a lot of it was written. Uh, it is agreed that the quality of old comedy is much better than new comedy. New comedy, instead of dealing with current social, political, war and peace issues like that, new comedy deals with personal issues. Um, it became very popular and appealed to more people. For that reason, it lasted and actually became, as the Roman Empire, 200 years after the first performance of Oedipus Rex, the Romans became a power and they conquered Greece, most of Western Europe, Northern Africa, and a large part of the Mediterranean. They also took Greek theater with them as they did these conquests, and Greek style theaters were built. Of course, the theater that they enjoyed and they practiced was comedy. For the Romans, uh, theater was lumped into all types of entertainment: chariot races, bear baiting, juggling, gymnastics, horse races. All of this was put together in a festival called Ludi. And the Ludi festival was also a celebration of not just one god, but many gods. The Romans had a very high opinion of themselves, and they felt that if the entertainment appealed to them, it would make the gods happy. On this level, they were equal to the gods. The festival was sponsored by the government, by the state, of course, and wealthy individuals who wanted to see this practiced. With these theatrical performances, instead of having competitions of playwrights, we had competitions of theater groups or theater companies who put together these plays and performed them, and the winner of the competition received more money for their work. Now, the Romans recognized the quality of the Greek classics, but they felt that they did not come up to the standards of the Romans. The Romans had a very high opinion of themselves, as I said. So the Romans hired a Greek playwright by the name of Lydius Andronicus to rewrite these Greek plays to make them more appealing to Roman audiences. And he did that. Around 240 AD, his plays were being performed. Also, the work of several other Roman playwrights was presented at this time. The work of Plautus and Terence, who both wrote comedies, as well as the work of Seneca, who wrote tragedies. Plautus's play, The Menechmi, served to be the inspiration for William Shakespeare as he wrote a play called The Comedy of Errors. At the heart of the story is a situation where twins are separated at birth and raised in different parts of the country. They come together in one city, and mistaken identity and the comic setup that comes from that ensues. Um, this was extremely popular, and Greek, or excuse me, Roman comedy was performed a lot. It became extremely popular. And the situations in Roman comedy, not only did the situation in the Menechmi, for example, influence William Shakespeare, but the structure of Roman comedy became something that would influence future comedies in the upcoming centuries.